And tonight I'm joined by the mid laner from FlashPoint, Sheyka. How you doing tonight, Sheyka?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. So let's get right into it. After sitting on the edge of the pro league for so long, I mean, you've been in the scene for what, 2 years, year and a half, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, technically started about 2 years ago in the Summer Challenger Cup, but it was only for like 1, 2 games, something like that. So I'd say about a year and a half in the Challenger Cup.
All right, so year and a half in the Challenger Cup. How does it feel to finally have made it up to the SPL? I mean, you've been close a few times, and there were times where it really didn't seem like you were ever going to make it. So, what's it feel like to finally be here?
It's very gratifying and amazing. It feels good to finally achieve that goal that I've kind of set for myself for so long. It's been a long process, but finally I've gotten the chance. And as you said, like I didn't know if I would ever make it. I didn't. I sometimes, maybe had a little bit of doubt, but I worked my way through it and finally got there.
Were there any points where you came close to calling it quits?
There's some points where I was like, like I think the closest I came was after we got third place in the Challenger circuit and we didn't make relegations in National Authority. And I was like, I don't know if I can continue to play if I'm not on a team that's going to be competing for the pro league, because it's just kind of tough trying to go through another Challenger circuit. It's hard, that cup is hard to make it through even still.
Yeah. Uh, so let's talk a little bit about the grind that kind of led you here, because I mean you and your former teammate Sh3yka are pretty much like the poster children for what Smite wants. They you guys grinded it out through the challenger scene and stuff before that, and now here you are. These pro teams finally realized you guys' potential and gave you your shot. To anybody out there who's watching our show that maybe wants to get into Smite or the SPL, what advice would you give them? What is the grind that they should be trying to achieve?
So, like, first off, get yourself on a team. Get you on a team with 4 people you enjoy playing with, because that's the easiest way to improve. And play the Challenger Combine, Challenger Circuit, whatever you can, and do that. And most importantly, I think, is playing ranked with people that might necessarily know more than you, so that you can look to improve from what they know. That's one of the biggest things I did. I queued with pros, stuff like that, and I improved my own gameplay because they were able to help me kind of do something better that maybe I didn't know how to do before. And that's kind of the biggest thing to me.
During your grind, who would you say impacted you the most, or like was you the best mentor?
Uh Mentor, that's tough to like. I would say it's tough to say. I would say most of the time, for like a little, or at least a lot of my time in ranked, I played with Sh3yka, and we kind of like did a lot of hardcore practice in ranked. Maybe the try hard ranked, and that was kind of my biggest improvement, playing ranked with him and kind of just getting that practice in and stuff like that. I mean, I played with a couple junglers from the SPL, not necessarily in comms, but kind of just playing with them in ranked and kind of watching how they move around the map and stuff like that. That more or less helps out a lot.
Right. I understand that. I mean, just ever since I joined this show and I've been exposed to a lot of more people who are a lot better at the game than me and my casual friends are. I mean, I've started to learn a lot, and that really resonates with me just in this short little bit of time I've had with that experience. Uh, so let's talk about Sh3yka a little bit, because looking back at your amateur career, you've kind of had some big teammates, and relatively speaking. I mean, you've been teammates with Wowie, Sh3yka, Sops, and Caden, and looking back, like all of those dudes have made it into the pro scene. What kind of led to all of you finding each other?
Well, like at least for the start, there's this guy named Pool Shark, and this was my first competitive team. He pulled together me, Sops, Sh3yka, and iFates into this random kind of squad, and we competed in the Challenger circuit. And we didn't necessarily do good to start, but we were pulled together as a team, and we enjoyed the team, and we grinded for about 6 to 8 months, and we got pretty darn good. Competing for a top Challenger team for sure, and that was kind of the start of the grind for me. And then later on, teamed up with Caden and Wowie, and that was just a ton of fun Sabbath as well was on that squad in Final K. And like the biggest thing with improving on these teams and stuff like that, finding a way to get better is having fun with them, finding a way to just enjoy each other outside of the game too. Is that's one thing. Relationships outside of Smite is good to have.
Are you still in contact or pretty good contact with any of these former teammates?
Yeah, I mean, I talk to almost all the guys I mentioned, honestly, on a pretty regular basis.
What are the chances that somewhere down the road we see like a reformation of the Salsa squad?
Oh, that would be fun. They all know it would be pretty fun, but that'd be quite a while down the road, though.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
not
that'd
quite
be a fun. Yeah, it'd be funny. I don't know if that could happen, but well, it'd be quite the show, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Out of all of your past teammates, who's your favorite to kind of play beside?
Uh, I like playing with Final K for sure. We were on a team the longest, like well over a year. And then I like playing with Wowie a ton. He was really fun to play with. We played a lot of rank together when I was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Spent a lot of hours grinding, doing the grind, stuff like that. So those two were pretty good.
All right, so we talked about your past teams. Why don't you guys talk to us about the present, your present team? Because I feel like not a lot of people, I mean, outside of Sh3yka, are gonna know who the hell you are.
Yeah, I mean, our team's just kind of like, I don't know. We're just a bunch of new players, kind of learning the ropes, but we're still competent players. We've been, me, Sops, Dante. We've been around in Challenger circuit, and it's it's a level below the pro league, but we're right there. We're ready and we're hungry, and we perform well in scrims. We practice hard, and like I said, we kind of are just having fun right now, and that's a big thing for us.
What's it like playing with Sh3yka? Because I mean, he's been around the Smite scene for forever, and I mean, he's the biggest. He's probably one of the biggest veterans we have on any of the teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, going way back, like I wasn't even playing competitive Smite. I would watch competitive Smite, and I see Sh3yka out there playing for the launch tournament and the finals and all this stuff, playing all these big tournaments, and all this stuff. And now to actually be on a team with him is kind of crazy to me, like to think about. But he's a really cool guy. I like him a ton. He's a great teammate. So it's really, I don't know. It's hard to explain just because it's like you wouldn't expect it really. Just watching the pro league for so long and watching someone like him and then be on a team with him. It's really cool.
One of our favorite analogies for FlashPoint over the past year was the FlashPoint University, where you had Incon and you had Sh3yka as the kind of like the old salted veterans who've been around the block, and then the rest of the team was the new guys, and they were just kind of imparting their knowledge. Now it's just Sh3yka as the big man on campus, and does he fill in as that role, as that mentor, as that like teacher, as guiding you guys through this, like the first little bit of the SPL you've been in?
I mean, yeah, he mentors us for sure, but he's still right there to trust all of us, just as any other player. He doesn't look down on us ever, but he trusts us to make, calls and stuff like that. But he's definitely there to mentor and say, my experience is here, there, and stuff like that. So it's great to have him around. And I really do like that analogy, university. We're like with him, we're going to class pretty much, every scrim, he's helping us out.
Yeah, we can only take so much credit for that one. That came from one of our episodes with Tom F. Dot. For those of you guys who don't really know his first name, but yeah, that stuck with us. I think every time we talked about FlashPoint, it was always FlashPoint U, and it just fit. So what's the goal for this split? I mean, we've had some teams come in who are looking for the instant success, looking to compete right away, a couple of like the super teams. But then, we've had a couple of the projects, your FlashPoint U, your Noble. What's your guys' goal? Like, what are you guys kind of working for? Obviously, going to Spain, DreamHack would be amazing. But do you guys have like, more like step-by-step things to kind of go towards to reach that point?
Yeah, for sure. We're just, the whole entire split, we're looking to stay competitive, stay on our feet, never get down on ourselves, and kind of just make this a learning experience. Three of our guys, including me, this is our first split. This is the perfect time to learn as much as we can and improve as much as we can. And it's like a long-term thing we can look at here. Like maybe we'll not be at the top at this split, but maybe down the road, maybe that could happen. So we're just looking to learn this split, but stay competitive, win those games because we know we can.
Yeah, you can win. That's some big talk coming from a rookie. You it doesn't really sound like you have a lot of nerves going into this, though.
No, I mean, it might be nerve wracking in the first game or so, but like I've still played in like high level games, stuff like that against SPL teams. I've scrimmed against them for a long time. It's not too new. Really, just the new part is SPL part. It's not too bad. I'm not really nervous.
Speaking of like your scrim time and everything like that, going into this split, you guys are not really being looked at favorably in any of your matchups. And, for everybody watching, like, what do you have to say to that? What evidence from your scrims and everything can you say or show that might change people's minds and like give them the motivation to kind of vote on you guys for some fantasy points?
Yeah, I mean, I won't say anything about scrims, who we beat, who we haven't, but I'll just say kind of watch out and don't underestimate us because we're competitive. I just really think that. I really think that we can take games off a lot of teams. We have just really good players. I don't know. I can just not stress that enough that we're going to be competitive this split.
I like to hear that. I mean, this last split was an interesting split to say the least with some of the teams. I mean, you looked at FlashPoint. I mean, then you also had Sanguine on the EU side, and wasn't necessarily the same kind of vibes we were getting from the players, that we're getting from you. That we're gonna be competitive, we're gonna do all this, and it's refreshing to hear you so confident and saying that we're gonna compete.
Yeah, I mean, we got 3 new guys. We all got our chance now, so like we're kind of as excited as anybody for this, really.
All right. I think that's all of like the really serious questions I had.
Okay.
So let's ask an interesting one. Why mid lane? What drove you to want to be a mid laner? And did you ever experiment with any other lanes or any other roles?
Yeah, I mean, so like going back to before competitive, I played all sorts of roles, and kind of like some of the people I played with, they played mid. So I kind of learned mid the easiest, but I was playing all the roles. And then it came to a point where I was like, if I want to start getting good, you gotta pick a role and just play that and play that only. And so I just was like, which role do I like the best? I don't know. Mages are pretty cool. So I was like, let's do this. And so I kind of just picked mid out of the blue and stuck with it.
All right. Meta, off meta, who cares? Who's your favorite god?
Who's my favorite god?
Who's your favorite god?
This is a tough one. All time or like right now? Right now.
We'll do all time. We'll do all time
Okay.
first.
I would say all time. It has to be Janice. Even though
That's
he's
such
not
a mid laner answer.
he just, he's just so fun, especially when he's OP. He's just so fun to play. He's my most played god, so I mean, there's a reason for that.
As a mid laner, and I understand if you can't say entirely, it feels like we had like a huge Janice drop off over the last split. I mean, I'm used to seeing him everywhere, and then he really didn't get picked up for the last split. Was there any reason really behind that?
Yeah, I think starter items, kind of that change did him a little bit, made him not as good. And they also nerfed his 2, I'm pretty sure. And so that kind of, and they also nerfed the ult from like max range or something, or like I don't know, there's something about that they nerfed. I can't remember exactly.
Is it going to be one of those things though where he got a nerf and everyone screamed like, "Oh, he's gone, he's dead now," and then one EU player picks him up again and everyone remembers, "Oh yeah, Jonas is really good."
Yeah, it might be an EU player. It might just honestly be like a tiny little like patch, and like he'll be back
Yeah. All
because
right.
he's just so, I don't know, different than all the other gods. So yeah, I don't know. He'll be back.
All right. Who? So we all time. Yeah, we have Janice. Who's your favorite god currently?
Currently, gosh, this is kind of a tough one. I have like a lot of favorite gods right now. I'm liking Vulcan a lot. I don't know. He's just kind of fun to play, but
I can hear Freight yelling in the background right
Uller.
now.
It's just Uller. It has to be Uller. I don't know. I just can't go away from Uller. He's my favorite right now.
Uller mid lane.
I have too much fun with
tasty
him.
Uller mid lane.
Everybody knows it.
All right. Well, I think that's about all of the questions I really have for you.
Okay.
So I hand over the stage to you. I give you my soapbox to stand on. The floor is yours. Anything that you want to say to the community, you can say it now. What do you got for us?
First off, I would say if you're in the challenger scene, you can make it. You can grind it. You just gotta have the mindset, and then just you'll make it. Maybe not right away, but eventually. You just gotta find the right people to play with. And to my teammates, they're awesome. I'm having a ton of fun with Smite right now, and I think that's good for me. And thank you to FlashPoint, Sh3yka, and Mirage for giving me the opportunity on FlashPoint as well. And that's pretty much it.
All right.
I'm excited for the games. That's awesome.
I know we're super excited. I know Freight and Gore love it whenever one of their Friday Night Smite guys comes up and makes it into the league. I mean, we gushed about Final K for what seems like forever. And so it's nice to kind of see the new blood. I feel like this last year has been the year of the new blood for Smite, and it's been really fun to watch.
I had to follow in Final K's tracks. He walked in after I was on like a team with him forever. I was like, this can't happen. I've got to make it.
You can't let him upstage you. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you stream? Do you have a Twitch that people can go follow you at?
I do have a Twitch. I do stream decent amount. I haven't been streaming much lately. It's twitch.tv/Sheyka2. Don't forget the 2 at the end.
The 2 is just super really important, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you guys can follow him at FP_Sheyka. And for whatever reason, Sheyka decided to spell it with a 3 now because he's an idiot. And
No, I actually didn't get a change, but I just wanted my Twitter to be like that.
Oh my god, it's so dumb. We all hate it. We all hate it.
There's like 2 people that were like, that's really cool.
Well, they're wrong. I just want you to know. I need you to know that they were wrong. All right. So again, thank you, Sheyka, for coming on the show. Best of luck for the upcoming split, and hopefully we see your name come up a lot, and we forget about that Final K scrub.
Thank you. It was great to be on the show. I really enjoyed it.